What's up, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over Monday Night Raw for October the 24th, 2022. Not the best episode of Monday Night Raw, probably the worst episode of Monday Night Raw in the Triple H era. Little notes here and there. The only big takeaway of this show, if you see it in the thumbnail, is no more superhero Twisted once again. Nikki Cross, Twisted Sister, Nikki Cross, the Nikki Cross from Sanity Days, is back. I'm very happy about that. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the other things that happen on this show. Two very, very fun matches. One not so great match, another not so great match, and then also some other things that happened. And what's going to happen next week? I'm going to let you guys know of how I'm going to handle next week. Given that it's Halloween, I'm going to tell you more about that a little bit later on. Also, a little bit later on, I'm going to let you guys know on other things that may be happening later this month. Who knows? Or not later this month, later this week. But you'll find out there. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, like, comment down below, follow the social medias at Misfit Wrestle TV and on Instagram at Misfit Wrestling Pod. And if find the Facebook, wherever it is, I usually don't put the Facebook in the description. It's whatever. I will also go over the results of the semifinals of the IWGP Women's Championship tournament that took place at the Stardom Goddess of Stardom Tag League. I believe it was night one. All that and much, much more. Let's go over Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw started off with the Judgment Day because they seem to be starting off Raw nowadays. Rhea Ripley grabs the mic because AJ Styles found out last week. Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw. She says Dominic Mysterio is all man now. Balor then says Styles crumbled under the pressure of Dominic before Priest tells the fans to rise and show respect to Dominic. Mysterio says the Judgment Day are the only ones to believe in him and prove everyone wrong when he beat AJ last week, which is still weird to say out loud. He says he built himself differently and calls himself this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Sure thing. The OC's music hits. They head down to the ring. Styles tells Dominic to shut the fuck up, basically. He says Charlotte, North Carolina knows good wrestling when they see it. He says that he's this generation's James Ellsworth. That popped me. He said Gallows and Anderson, that is, hop into the ring. Styles says the OC will pick them off one by one. Or Balor cuts them off and saying he's hiding behind the club that he started. True, he did start the Bullet Club. He says everyone that came after him have lived in his legacy and he will put them down. So he basically cut up all eras of Bullet Club. Absolutely correct on that. Anderson grabs the microphone and says it's time for Balor to shut the fuck up before saying they should have their match right now. He didn't say shut the fuck up. I just mentioned that. So then we got a really fun match here. Finn Balor defeated Karl Anderson after off a distraction. Bell rings. The two lock up. Balor hits a back elbow, followed by a drop kick. They go to a break immediately because, of course, they do. Balor slaps Anderson. He whips him into the corner. Anderson starts firing back with some drop kicks to Balor's knee. Anderson hits another kick to Balor's knee, then hits his step-up knee, followed by a dragon screw on the middle rope. Anderson goes for the pin, but Balor kicks out. Anderson locks in a leg submission. Balor was able to escape. He hits several elbows to the back of Anderson's head. Balor has his neck breaker, then goes for a pin, but Balor didn't get all of it when Anderson kicked out. Balor then sends Anderson into the ropes. Anderson fires back with an uppercut. Those two start spilling out to the ring. At one point in this match, Rhea Ripley hit an impressive scoop slam on Luke. I'm gonna say Karl Anderson on Luke Gallows on the outside. I believe Dominic, either it was Dominic or it was Damian Priest that sent Styles flying into the announce booth. But at the end, like I said, Dominic distracts the referee before Styles levels him. Priest sends him over to the barricade, like I just mentioned a second ago. Rhea takes him out by sending him into the ring post. Then follows, which follows the whole Gallows power slam. Mysterio then causes another distraction. Balor delivers a low blow onto Anderson for the win. Finn Balor wins. A fun little match, nothing too serious to go home about. It just builds towards their match at Crown Jewel, which apparently New Japan, I guess, is not happy with Karl Anderson, but I also think that's a work because if they aren't happy about it, then why are they letting him do this date? You know, doesn't make a lot of sense. We go backstage. Johnny Gargano is walking backstage. He has a whistle in his hand from last week. The Miz approaches him and says, or asks what he knows, talking about what happened last week with Gargano telling the Miz he knows what is going on between Miz and Lumis. Yeah. Gargano says he knows what it is, and the Miz says he doesn't. Gargano tells him to quit lying to the fans and tell the truth. Miz says he's going to go out to the ring and tell the truth. Miz on the microphone basically says that basically doesn't do what Gargano wants. Gargano cuts him off. He says he's full of crap. Says that he's so full of himself that he realized that Ciampa's not missing. He's rather injured. That's what Gargano told Miz. He says that if Miz wants him and Lumis out of his life, all he needs to do is come clean. He has the whistle in his hand. He's not afraid to use it. But Miz says he told nothing but the truth. Out of nowhere, randomly, R-Truth's music hits. Because I now freaking remembered. Oh yeah, that's right. They're in North Carolina. He's from North Carolina. A funny little bit. This was not. It was a little funny. I laughed at some of the parts of it. There was a line where R-Truth said, "Well, you wanted to tell the truth. I'm here." So then we get a match. The Miz versus R-Truth didn't last very long. R-Truth wins with a roll up via distraction. There's his second distraction finish of the night. Because Miz thinks Dexter Lumis is in the crowd, hooded with a hood on him somewhere. Come to find out, the hooded figure was Johnny Gargano, and Miz is pissed. Then we go backstage to Kathy Kelly and Candice LeRae. Kathy Kelly asks Candice about her return and what's it been like for her. Candice then says everything is such a win whirl. He knew it would be a challenge, but she says that she has lots of support from her colleagues. Then Damage Control walks in. They take over the interview. Bayley says Bayley asks who cares about her sob story, or Candice asks what is she trying to prove, or what are they trying to prove. He says Io is still untrustworthy. Kai is spiteful, and Bayley still doesn't have the Raw Women's Championship. That's when Bayley gets up and says, "Not yet," and then they say basically, "As Larry, you have no one to help you, no friends." Bayley pushes the camera, but we don't see what's going on. But it does look like in the background that Damage Control beat up Candice LeRae. That's how that segment ended. So I don't know what's setting up there. It's interesting. We'll see where it goes next week. Again, I will talk about what I'm going to be doing next week when it comes to Raw, the Halloween episode. Then we go backstage to Elias and Matt Riddle. Elias wants to clear the air, and Riddle says there's no need to. He's been working on his tunes. Elias says he has a long history of being interrupted, and said that he vowed to beat up anyone who did so after his return. He says since he was close to his brother Ezekiel, he gets a pass for this week. Uh, Chad Gable and Otis walks in. Gable starts making fun of the pair before calling Riddle a moron and tells them to get serious. Then he says Elias should shave his beard because he liked Ezekiel better, which obviously, if you don't know, allegedly Elias and Ezekiel is the same person. Elias says never talk about his brother like that again. Challenges to a match. Then we get a match later with Chad Gable versus Ezekiel. Next up, we had Mustafa Ali defeating Austin Theory defeating Mustafa Ali. We had the third distraction by Seth freaking Rollins, who was on commentary. This was a fun little match. Probably my favorite match of the night. No, actually, it's my second favorite match of the night. My favorite match of the night is the main event. So at one point in this match, Austin Theory sends Ali's head bouncing off the announce table desk, delivers a DDT on the apron. They go to break. When they come back, Theory sends Ali out back to the outside again, sends his head bouncing off the apron, then tosses him back into the ring. Theory takes a selfie as Ali delivers a drop kick that sends him to the outside. Keep going back to the outside. Then hits a super kick. He hits a forfeit. Not Theory. Ali hits a 450 splash, then a kick to the jaw, then a neck breaker. Goes for the pin, but Ali kicks out. Ali delivers his own super kick to Austin Theory, followed by a DDT. Goes for the pin, but Theory kicks out. Near the end of this match, he climbs to the top rope. That is Austin Theory. Ali looks for the 450 splash, but Rollins, again, like I said, enters the ring, allowing Theory to kick the top rope and hit the A-Town down for the win. And again, like I said, this is the third distraction finish of the night. So there's that. This whole show is filled with distraction finishes. After the match, Theory heads to the back as Rollins starts beating up Ali on the outside, tells him to stay down before chuckling. In the timekeeper's area, tells him to get out as Rollins is, walking up the ramp. Out of nowhere, Ali just comes through the crowd and starts beating the shit out of Seth Rollins, building towards their soon-to-be match, probably at Crown Jewel, for the United States Championship. I'm enjoying what they're doing with Mustafa Ali. I'm excited for the eventual Rollins Mustafa Ali match. We go backstage again. Johnny Gargano looks like he's getting ready to go to the ring for a match. Miz approaches him and says he deceived him during his match earlier tonight. And Johnny's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. JBL and Baron Corbin walk up, and JBL rags on Gargano for his indie days. He tells him to learn some respect. Gargano says he will offer him his hand and introduce himself. Then take some shots at both JBL and Corbin. JBL says that he will see Gargano out in the ring, so we set up a match between, between Gargano and Corbin later on tonight. Next up, he got almost defeating Schmucks to build towards a match no one gives a shit about. I'm moving on. Chad Gable versus Elias. Elias wins with a big boot and DDT. Match was nothing special. After the match, Otis attacks Alliance. Gable starts joining in. Matt Riddle comes out for the save, and to make the save, and we're gonna lead to a Elias and Riddle versus the Alpha Academy match later down the road. You know what? Wide. Elias and Matt Riddle, that gives you another tag team if you want to go. If you want to do put them together as a pairing while Randy Orton's away. Sure, why not? We go backstage to the OC, who are in the medical area. They say they have a Rhea Ripley problem. Before Gallows says he's good with women. No, he's not. Obviously not. And he will hand her. He walks off before Styles and Anderson say, yeah, he's not good with women, which is exactly what I said. Back from break, Gallows walks back into the medical room, clutching his groin. Styles says they'll have to do something about Rhea Ripley. So, a few things I've seen people pitch, and I like some of these ideas. Some of them, not all of them. I do think they're going to bring in a woman, but I don't know if it's going to be somebody who's currently on the WWE roster. Two names come to mind that I think it could be, depending on what they want to do on Friday, because they have a open challenge that for Ronda Rousey. You could do Emma, whose contract not that long ago expired with Ring of Honor, expired with Impact Wrestling. I could see Emma coming in. I do see Emma coming back to WWE, but I can see Emma coming in to be a part of WWE's Bullet Club. But somebody I think it should be, and I think it would be really cool to see, even though I would prefer her on SmackDown, Mia Yim, who's a contract again also just expired with with Impact Wrestling, and I think it's a good idea to have her pop back up and be a part of this thing with the Bullet Club or something. You can have her a part of it. Don't have her. She doesn't have to join the group or anything. She can just be an ally. And then after this whole thing with Judgment Day is over with, Mia Yim can go back, can go do her single stuff, and you can move her over to SmackDown, give some light to the women's division over there, and see where it goes from there. That's what I would do. That's my little idea, I guess. So then we go to the ring for Johnny Gargano, Baron Corbin. This match was long and boring, and it had nothing to do with Johnny Gargano. This was all boring Corbin. Match ends, distraction again, obviously, because Corbin. So Gargano takes, Gargano takes the hat of JBL, puts it on. Was going to hit the one final beat, with the hat on, which would have been funny. But off the distraction, JBL trips Gargano on the ring apron. Corbin hits at the end of the days. Corbin wins. I hate Baron Corbin matches are not very good. I'm sorry. I just but y'all want to play that whole thing with Bray Wyatt can't wrestle. Oh, he's great promo. He's a great character, but what the bow brings. That's how I feel about Baron Corbin. Is he a great character? Yes. Is he a great heel? Yes. He's not a great talker, but he's a great character and a great heel. Once that bell rings, it's like channel changer for me. Sorry. All right, so we go backstage to Bianca Belair, who apparently is so furious about what happened to Candice LeRae that she decided to not even attempt to save her during that segment. Some friend you are. basically she says she's going to put an end to this whole thing with Bianca, but Dakota Kai, which she's not. Well, we'll get to that why in a second and what's going to happen. That whole, I'm kind of curious where they're going to go with that. We'll go back to The Miz and Gargano. The Miz handed Gargano a get well card for Candice. Gargano says he appreciates it before Miz says they both had a tough night. They should put their issues behind them. Gargano then informs Miz that if he doesn't tell the truth, then Gargano's going to do it for him next week. And it looks like we are looking like we're teasing a Gargano and Candice versus Miz and Maurice eventual mixed tag match somewhere down the line. Which is cool, I guess. I've got a video package hyping Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for a crown jewel. Next up, we get the main event: Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Bayley wins. Alpha Destruction ? Maybe. This is a fun little match. I'm not gonna go through the whole match, obviously. I got other things I want to talk about. But so near the end of the match, we're having this great back and forth match here with with Dakota Kai, not Dakota Kai, with Bianca and Bayley. One near the we go at one point they come back from break. Hey, this is a great spot. Bayley looks to hit the KOD. Belair escapes, then hits Bayley with the Bayley to belly for a pin. Bayley kicks out. That was a great spot. Hair again spills to the outside before Belair sends Bayley into the ring steps. Belair tosses Bayley back into the ring. The two then exchange forearms. Belair plants Bayley with a very nice looking spine buster. Then ascends to the top. Bayley follows it up, hits her own Bayley belly from the top rope, goes for them. Belair kicks out again. Dakota Kai and Io Sky clear the announce table as Bayley tosses Belair onto the outside. Belair catches Bayley, delivers a powerbomb onto the announce table. The announce table did not break. She hits it on the second one on the ring post. Then sends Bayley face first into the ring apron. He tosses Bayley back into the ring, but the referee is distracted by Io and Dakota, and is distracted. Io and Dakota beat her down, which this doesn't make sense. How does he catch him if he's distracted? The referee just tries to throw them out. Out of nowhere, there's some woman comes flying off the top rope with a high cross body. No, the referee, the camera doesn't see it, so I immediately knew who it was. So she takes so this person takes out the referee, the referee that was officiating this match, Io and Dakota. Belair tries to go while in the ring. Bayley tries to hit the rose plant, but Belair counters it into the KOD. Goes to the pin, but no one's there. That same woman comes into the ring. Come to find out, it's Nikki Cross. She hits the purge on which I'm miscalling it that move. Cross hits the purge on Bianca. Bayley sneaks in for the pin for the win. After the match, Cross comes back and starts beating up Bayley, hitting her with a jacket and fires several forearms as the show goes off the air. And that means not Bianca. That means Nikki Cross Nikki ASH is no longer Nikki ASH. She's no longer a superhero. She's no longer almost a superhero. She is now Nikki Cross from Sanity, the Sanity character that we all love and loved. That the character that we all grew up with. Not grew up. It's the character we all were fond of with her, and it's the character that people really liked of hers. No one liked that Nikki ASH character. It was not getting over with the fans. No one was buying it. I'm so glad that Triple H decided when, because I feel like I knew like one of the first things Triple H did when he take over, like he's gonna revert people back to their either their old gimmicks or whatnot. We're slowly seeing that with Pete Dunne. He's still Butch, but uh, that name will probably Pete Dunne name will probably come back by either SmackDown or next week or something. I think they're going to be taping SmackDown next week. For I think they're going to be taping back-to-back episodes for SmackDown this week. I could be wrong on that. I'll have to look. But yeah, that's how Raw ended. I'm so glad Nikki Cross is back. A few things that I liked about the show, like I said, the main event was an excellent main event between Bianca and Bayley. They don't have bad matches. Ali and Austin Theory was pretty fun. I don't care for Baron Corbin matches. I'm not even I I'm a little upset that they had Johnny Gargano lose here. I mean I'm intrigued with what they're doing with Elias and Matt Riddle. Don't care about Omos. And the Miz stuff is interesting. We'll see where that goes here. Anderson and Balor was pretty good. Raw was not like it was a terrible show. Like it's Triple H's worst show since taking over. But I was talking about this earlier. How am I going to do next week? Well, as far as I know, I'm going to try to do a Raw review. Not on Monday though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch Raw on Tuesday. And review the show afterwards. Hopefully. Because Monday, I'm not going to be home on Monday to watch Raw. I'm going to be doing some Halloween stuff with my family. So I'm not going to be home to watch Raw. If anything big happens, I'm going to have to watch it the next day or try to. I'll figure something out with that. Dynamite review is up in the air. We don't know what's happening because that we had an unfortunate death in the family. So we don't know. So I'm not sure how if a Dynamite review is going to happen or not this week. I will let you guys know on Twitter and on the YouTube in the community section. There will be a SmackDown review. That's still going to happen. So there's that. Other things that happened this week. Halloween Havoc didn't really care for the show. Outside of the main event and the opening ladder match, the show was a fucking dog shit. I'm so glad I stopped watching. This is why the bullshit decisions I've seen like show. Mandy Rose should not have won. We should not have won that match. It should have been Alba Fire. It's just Shawn Michaels needs to just stop with all that. But what made up for it is actually a very good women's show that from Stardom, the Goddess of Stardom Tag League for 2022. I watched that this morning, Sunday morning. Actually a really good tag league match. We've seen Karate Brave, which is Tomoka and Shiri, went to a time limit draw with Black Desire, which is Momo Watanabe and Starlight Kid. That was a fun little match. We also had a match. We had an interesting, like, fun little mixed little tag match here. We had Azumi and Miyu defeating Hanan. I think it's Hanan and Saya. So that was some good stuff. So Azumi is quickly becoming one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. Only 20 years old. I believe she started wrestling at the age of 15, 17, something like that. I think she's the youngest champion in Stardom history. She is incredible. She's only 20, but she feels like she's been wrestling for years. But what I actually wanted to talk about here is the two semifinal women's championship tournament matches. Kairi defeated Jessie Gabbert, which was obvious that was going to happen, and an incredible match between Mayu Iwatani and Utami Hayashishita. Utami did not come out the victor here. That went to Mayu Iwatani. I was like, and I said the other night, our weeks leading up to this match, I said I don't give a shit who wins this match. Because the winner of that match is going to be facing Kairi in the finals, and I'm okay with either one of those matches. But I'm excited. It's going to be Mayu Iwatani versus Kairi Hojo to crown the first IWGP champion at the historic crossover show, which I am going to review. I have decided I will be reviewing that show. Actually, you know what? That's going to be the review. I may just take out the WCW review and just do this show instead. That sounds like a good idea. So the card currently as it stands for this show, Mayu Iwatani versus Kairi Hojo for the IWGP Women's Championship. Tom Lawyer versus Shuri. Tom Lawyer and Shuri takes on Zack Sabre Jr. and Julia. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Utami Hayashishita take on Hiroki Goto and Maika. Suzuki Gun's Taichi and Yoshi is gonna team with Tam Nakano and Natsupoi to take on Suzuki Gun's El Desperado and Adoki, who are gonna be teaming with Black Desire, which is Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe from Oedo Tai. So that's the current card for Star Crossover. That show's going to be very, very fun. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for that. But yeah, that's what I have to say about Monday Night Raw. Like I said, probably the worst show of the Triple H era. I'm excited for that. For the Stardom show or the Stardom New Japan show coming up on December 24th. What else is on? What else is happening that day? That month. Let's see. So, okay. So for the month of November, we have Crown Jewel, which that is not going to happen for me. I'm sorry. AEW Full Gear, Historic Crossover, and War Games. So that's going to be fun. So I'm announcing it right here and now. New Japan, Stardom, Historic Crossover. That will be the show that's going to be taking over for the month of November. So when you see what's going to happen in November, it's going to be AEW Full Gear, the New Japan Stardom crossover show, Historic Crossover, and Survivor Series War Games. So that's going to be that. An interesting show that's coming up for Stardom on November 3rd, which is next Thursday, I believe. Yes, next Thursday. Interesting main event. We got Shuri defending the women's championship against the World Stardom title against Maika. Saya Kamitani will defend her Wonder of Stardom championship, which is like their version of the IWGP Intercontinental title, against Mina Shikara. Natsupoi and Tam Nakano will defend their Goddess of Stardom titles against Black Desire, Starlight Kid and Momo Watanabe. Mayu Iwatani will take on Jazzy Gabbert, which is kind of funny given that Jazzy Gabbert lost to Kairi in the semifinals, the IWGP Women's title. Utami Hayashishita will take on Natsuko Tora, who just came back from her injury. I believe she tore her I believe it was an ACL tear. She was out for several months. She returned. I don't remember what show it was. She returned. But she was. It was during the a title match where she tore her ACL, and the match was called off for that. So that's where that story is coming in. God's Eye will take on Donna Del Mondo. This is Konami coming back for one night only. So that's gonna be good to see. Hazuki and Kogoma will take on Stars, Saya and Momo, who will then take on Azumi and Miyu, who will then take on Lady EC and Waka, who will then also take on Oedo Tai's Saki Kashima Ryaka. I'm bad with Japanese names. Sorry. So that's going to be an interesting show. I'm not going to review that show or nothing, but I am going to watch that show because I like Stardom. Stardom's great. So, again, that's all I have to say about that. Until then, until next time, hopefully for Wednesday, we'll see what happens. Until then, we're out.